Hey, Cal, how are you?
Sleep deprived more than last week. Yep,
I
yep,
feel you.
yep, yep.
I know why you're sleep deprived, and I guess you know why I'm sleep deprived.
Yeah.
Same old every week.
Mhm,
And Adam couldn't be with us for this show, so you're missing the handsome face of our little Adam,
mhm,
but he is here in spirit,
yep,
in actual technical spirit.
yep,
And we will move on. At the time of recording this show, we have got exhilarating news and very sad news.
yep.
So, out of respect, knowing also that we will get to some trivia tonight,
Mhm,
we got to a 90s rewind so that we can tap into a section of our favorite decade. But at the time of this recording, we heard news just a couple hours ago that we lost one of the greats. So I figured we should probably start there. And it's Tina Turner. By this time, everybody knows that Tina Turner has passed. And I think it's safe to say there's a long list of things that people know about Tina Turner that I don't think we're going to provide any news on. Um, but, quite simply, the best. And sidebar, not just because her signature tune says so, but the side note would be that if you're writing or recording music, make sure you take into account the title of the songs that you're writing because they will be used against you and for you forever. And in the case of making a signature tune like The Best, Tina Turner, will be remembered quite simply as such. Wouldn't you say?
yep. I, it's funny, I shouldn't be shocked when we get these, communiques that a
Yeah.
great has passed, especially because I think we're in a generation now where so many of our greats are hitting maybe, a time zone in their life where they could be going to the next level, if you will.
Yeah. Hmm.
Um, but I wasn't expecting it. I'd forgot that she'd even had health struggles, to be honest, over the last few just because she's done such a great job of staying off the map. Like, she's literally, like, under the radar beyond.
Totally.
And so I had forgot she even had, like I'd literally forgot she had to have that transplant.
Pretty incredible. Like, and
Yep.
getting to this point of all her medical challenges, the first bunch she actually documented in her most recent book, which is kind of the equivalent of having Tina Turner sitting and telling you the stories. That's how easy the book was to read. Um, but what a champion, though! Like, it's not not easy stuff that she had to endure.
Mhm,
And like you said, to do it with such a level of class and privacy is certainly something that she earned
mhm.
after a life well lived. No doubt about that. 83 years old. Imagine that. Have you ever seen her live?
No, and I'm sad that I did not, but I know that one of her I believe it was one of Janet's former dancers danced for her and said how amazing it was an experience to be a part of that, so
I'm sure it was a lesson in you better keep up because the
yep.
reason why she left live performance, from what I can remember, and I've seen her a couple of times, and it's mind blowingly good. Um, the reason why she left because she was starting to sort of feel the effects of age, normal age, and this was many years ago now. Um, but she knew that she couldn't deliver what her 100% was, which we know is, I think, Joe Normal or Joanne Normal's probably 200%.
Mhm,
What she gave on the stage was all in, leave it all out there.
mhm,
And so she knew she couldn't deliver that as she faced, even physical challenges, not the deeper health stuff that she got that she suffered through toward the end, which I fully respected because I thought, really, like, you could just do the show as good as possible and that would still be somebody else's, 200%.
yep,
But she didn't want to deprive the fans.
mhm. No, she's a legend, a rock star, an absolute, like, phenom, and I think a lot of our not even I think, I know many of today's, um, current top tier artists like a Mariah Carey, like a Beyonce, like a Janet, like a Rihanna, like they were influenced by her 1,000,000%, right? So,
Oh yeah.
she is, I think, everybody calls certain people blueprints, but she definitely would be a blueprint for sure for many people. And
Without a doubt. Like we're going back to 60s. We're going back to the roots of rock and roll, the implementation of the rhythm and blues elements, the fact that she came from the South. So there was, a country and Western feel to it too, but it was all those elements that came into this evolution of not even a genre of music that's specific, but an approach to making music. She herself said she would take songs and make them rock and roll on stage.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Mm-hmm.
like she defied the definition,
Mm-hmm.
like as much as she lived and worked in a section of the industry where, there's compartmentalization of the artist. No, you're going to have to do this because this is what people expect from you. She was never that, which is incredible because like you said, the blueprint, this is how it can be done, and don't let anybody tell you otherwise.
Mm-hmm. And, everybody, I think, has a personal story or experience with Tina, like whether you saw her live or just meant something to you. And for me, I would say one of my first conscious moments of music, because I would have only been, I mean, obviously I knew music probably when I was 2, but like stuff that started to stick with me was like, What's Love Got to Do with It? Because I was about 7 at that point.
Nice.
And I just remember that song coming out, hearing it, and it meaning like it meant a lot to me. And I was 7. And I thought she was so cool in the music video with the jean jacket and her funky hair and like
just sassing down the street.
Sassy business. And so, so she will forever be, for me personally, a gateway into music in a way.
Well put. I think of that album and Bruce Springsteen's Born in the USA. I mean, there were certainly obviously other albums that year, but those 2 dominated. And it was like, it wasn't even, you know what? It was the triumph of it. It was Tina Turner finally getting what she deserved as a solo artist because of all that she brought to the game leading up to that point and all that she had to endure and fight through and fight for to get to that stage. I think that was incredible and amazing when you think of like pop music, talking about genres and the need for them or whatever. She was a woman of a certain age at that point too. She wasn't young, but she was killing it. Incredible.
Yeah. I can't believe she's gone. I'm like, why? Yeah. There's so many good ones that have gone recently. Again, I'm like, and again, at the end in December 2023, it's going to be like, well, that year sucked.
Oh my gosh. What a long list it's going to be. Like,
yeah. And I thought 2022 bit also because, Leslie Jordan, like Bob Saget, like just, that's just 2 that I can think of off the top of my head, but there's like, a million more. So,
it's such a vivid life. She lived in such great color that, I don't know. It's true. And I'm lucky that I got to see her, a couple of times. I feel fortunate that I felt it after seeing it. I felt like I was in on some, great secret of, oh my goodness, does she have the answers? I think she does. But there are videos out there that can give you the experience. And if you're any level of fan, you'll know what it is that you're there for, and that she's delivering without a doubt. I've like one of the elements of her live show was that she would get onto like a crane, almost a cherry picker kind of thing, but fancier because it's Tina Turner.
Yeah.
But she'd be out there, not strapped in, and just sort of over the crowd, just on this thing and sort of above everybody, sort of putting herself into the space of the audience. And like dangerous, I would say. Certainly, if maybe not dangerous, maybe like just a bit scary, like a roller coaster, But she owned it, man. And no offense to Elton John, but I think of the comparison of him going up an escalator at the end of his Goodbye Yellow Brick Road tour. Kind of like she, I think, was her age or his age or similar to his age when he was bidding farewell, and he was sort of holding on for dear life. And by comparison, she was sailing into the crowd on a crane. And again, no offense to Elton John,
Yeah.
There's no comparison. They're both amazing, incredible gifts to our experience. But you know, if I can toot Tina's horn, I always will.
And just before you move on, I haven't had a chance to read, but I'm only assuming, again, by the time our recording gets out, this will, I'm sure, have quoted a million times, but I'm sure whatever statement, if she hasn't already, Oprah Winfrey
Oh yeah.
will have quite the statement, was totally influenced beyond and moved beyond by Tina Turner. And I did see what Mariah Carey wrote. And again, just gushing, glowing words about the importance of Tina Turner. So I can only imagine what everybody else will be saying over the next few days. And I hope too, I know she's a very private person, but I hope at some juncture they do have some sort of public memorial so that her fans can, because like I'm still sad that they never did that for George, for George Michael. I think there's still many of us that would have loved to have seen, even us, who don't live over in England, who have had some sort of
Closure.
a closure and some sort of thing that we could have watched, even if it was like a YouTube thing or whatever, just to have a say goodbye to George. And so I hope they do something for Tina's fans.
Well, I pulled an Adam here and pulled something out from the internet.
Nice, nice.
And Oprah posted on her Instagram account that, and actually, Kel, just like 5 minutes ago,
Okay.
as per, our conversation at this time,
Mhm.
she wrote, I had the chance to join Tina on stage during her Wildest Dreams tour and felt a glimpse of her enchanted world. I was so nervous that my knees were actually knocking together. Dancing on stage with her in Los Angeles was the most fun I ever remember having, stepping out of my box. Tina lived out of the box and encouraged me and every woman to do the same.
Perfect.
Yeah, pretty incredible.
Mm-hmm.
May Tina Turner rest in rock and peace.
She's probably dancing.
No doubt.
Yeah. Her and Betty White having a dance about. A dance off, maybe.
Oh, what a great visual. So we'll get to the next level of exhilaration in just a little bit, Kel.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
I thought maybe some trivia would be in order.
Yes, yes, yes.
Pew, pew.
Adam will insert sound effect right here. Actually, I was smart last week because I was watching as we were recording the time, so I was able to tell him approximately, Adam, insert sound effect here.
Kabloom.
Kaboom.
Bing bong.
And we know that Rachel is loving the bing bong. So it's great. So this is under news and politics, Sharon, although I feel like normally we have trouble with this one, but I feel like you're going to get this one. Which island country transferred ownership from the UK to China in 1997? Island country transferred ownership from the UK to China. You totally know this.
Providence, Rhode Island. I don't know,
Or,
honestly.
or Hong Kong.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Okay, well, that's fair. It must
Yeah.
have been a nice friendly deal that they arrived at with zero issue and
It's
all
so
happiness.
peaceful.
So yeah, they're just so easygoing.
Yeah. Our show is probably blocked
geography.
in China. What do you figure?
Yeah, pretty sure.
Yeah. All right. Who won? This is under the sport banner, who won the men's 100 meters at the 1996 Olympics?
That was my dog guessing. I'm gonna guess 1996. Carl. What's his last name? The American, no?
No, Canadian connection.
Oh, okay. Donovan Bailey?
Yes. Yes.
Okay. Yes. What's Carl's last name?
Carl Lewis.
Oh, there you go.
And he had those fancy gold shoes, remember?
Yes.
Yeah.
I love watching runners at the Olympics or anywhere.
Yeah.
Mostly because I'll never be that fast. But that they do their thing and they're like lightning bolts almost. And then the slowdown takes almost as long as the actual race.
Yeah.
As they're going so fast.
Yeah.
Wow.
Watching Usain Bolt kick it is just...
Was that a perfect name for a runner or what?
Perfect. It's like he made it up. Yeah.
Maybe
Do you remember FloJo?
Yes, she was great too.
She was amazing. Didn't she have that half bodysuit or whatever it was?
Yes.
And then she was the one with the fingernails, no? Like with all the
yes.
fancy,
Yeah.
I remember thinking at the time, like, how does she manage with like, because I'm in karate and look, there's nothing going on because I got a punch, you know what I mean? So there's no fingernails, there's no
Well,
nails.
she didn't have to punch anybody, Kelly.
But you have
That's
to
why.
line up at the line. You know, you line up at the line.
I like that visual, Kel.
Yeah.
Could
Imagine her
also
little
be that you're a
fingernails like,
keyboard player.
yeah,
Do.
her fingernails over the line, she could have got disqualified. You know what I mean? Like
That's
they could have
true.
they could have been a hazard.
I think that
Yeah,
she,
she handled it.
worked around it. It was a
Yeah,
workaround.
very nice. Well, so did you like miss both at a
Yes, I got none.
yeah, none. This is your first none in a while.
I know. I failed the team.
Yeah.
Sorry. And I'm sorry about the sounds in the background. That's Shadow, my bossy dog.
Yeah.
I feel like I should grab him and just let everybody see what sort of big attitude I'm dealing with.
Yeah.
Where?
It's always the small ones that have the attitude.
Come here, you.
No, look.
Yeah, he's got attitude. Come here, you little turkey. Here he is.
Oh, he's
Yeah.
so
He's a little shy, except when he's mouthing off.
yeah.
And he's saying, "Give me the treat, lady." Except I've given him 1,000. No, not 1,000. I'm not a bad dog owner, but he's bossy.
Look how cute he is.
He's the speaker for his brother,
Yeah.
who's sitting like a very good boy right here going, "I'm ready.
Yeah.
I'm a very good boy."
Yeah. Look at
And
him
now
being
that
all like
angelic, right?
he was like a keyboard warrior and now he's all silent.
Yeah, nothing. And if you listen closely,
Is
he
he
sort of
purring?
whimpers.
Oh, he whimpers. Okay.
Yeah, he does it at night too, like
And he's not
now,
even old yet. He shouldn't be making those noises just yet.
no, exactly. And now that you're a dog owner, Cal, I know
Yeah.
that you do the same thing, probably with you apply a voice to your dog,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Yeah.
And like language. Well, then they're thinking this, like as if I know what they're thinking.
Yeah. Yeah.
Anywho,
Yeah.
he's bossy, but he's
Does he
very
does he see
cute.
himself in the screen right now? Because he looks like he's having he
I
looks
think
like
he might.
yeah.
I brush their teeth every day and
Mhm.
fluff them up and stuff. And at the end of it, I'll say, "You ready to see how handsome you are?" And then I pick them up and I show them in the mirror. And Shadow's always like,
Look
"Yeah,
at me.
I think I might be good looking."
For all of our audio listeners, please make sure you watch this episode on the YouTube channel because you'll yeah.
Yeah, there's we up leveled the cuteness.
Yeah. Before you move on to next topic, just quick, so Rosie Bear is one of our huskies.
Yeah.
And when we go walking her, if we happen to be anywhere near a strip mall, and there's a few kind of areas where that might happen for us, and she catches her reflection in the mirror, she goes straight for it. So we always say that she has like a huge ego because she wants to green, but I think she thinks it's another dog, you know.
For sure.
But it's super funny because right away she's like, "Oh, look at that," and then she like heads over to look at herself. And the other two don't do it at all, but she always heads for the mirror. So
interesting, eh?
yeah,
It's
super funny.
It's such a great thing to have access to, having a dog and watching that show, whatever they're doing. Look what they're doing.
Yeah.
What do you think they're thinking?
Yeah.
We have a lot of those conversations. Do you think they're watching the game? Like we'll
Yeah.
watch baseball or watch whatever show and look, they're watching.
Yeah, I often say to Elaine, because like we'll have whole conversations about them, and then like while they're milling about or whatever, or just lying down, and I'm like, they must think we're idiots. Like I often say that. I'm like, they must think we're complete idiots having these in-depth discussions about their thought process and like what they've done today and like what they might do later. So
yeah, well, you have to have those. You have to have all the detailed conversations about what they do.
And I've totally turned into like husky mom. It's ridiculous. Yeah.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah.
I'm happy for you, Kel.
Thanks. I love them so much. Yeah.
Now, my happiness for you also extends into the road trip that we talked about that has come and happened for you.
Mm-hmm. Can I tell you the exciting news, which I saved for the show, so you don't even know this part yet?
Oh my gosh, what is it?
For everyone who's listening and for everyone who's watching, Sharon doesn't know this yet. And usually Sharon and I have a brief discussion before the show, just to let her know what's going on, and same for me. So show for me was on a Tuesday in Toronto, which is a 5.5 hour drive for me.
Yeah.
To get there. And so on Sunday, Kelly decided that she should subconsciously get the stomach flu. or a 24-hour bug or whatever you want to call it.
Oh no.
Yeah, so that happened like Saturday, like Sunday, like during the day I was fine. I went out mowing the lawn, like the whole thing. And then I was editing an interview that I was doing for the Kelly Alexander show, and then like I started to feel like not great by like 8-ish p.m. And I'm like, you probably didn't eat. I thought maybe I hadn't eaten proper supper kind of thing. So I was like, maybe that's what it is. So anyways, went to bed, and then 12:05 a.m. not great. And then that's when it started. So I was awake the entire night of like Monday morning.
Oh no.
And then disaster stopped probably by like 5 or 6-ish a.m., but
Uh-huh.
then felt like garbage the entire day, like garbage the entire day. And I was like, I don't know if I'll be able to be 5 hours in a car, like
Oh my
to make this
gosh.
trip. And so it was touch and go, Sharon. And then I just like and even like Monday night, like I was just like not good. My stomach still felt gross, like just not good. And then I told like better half Elaine, I'm like, I don't know, like I really don't know. And then I woke up Tuesday and I was kind of weak, because I hadn't eaten and like the whole thing.
Yeah.
Uh, but I'm like, I'll give it an hour and I'll see. And so we like gave it an hour. I had some stuff to do. And then we're just like, okay, we'll try. So off we headed with soda crackers
Oh
for
my
the 5.5
gosh.
hour drive. And I actually did pretty well for most of the drive. And then as we were coming into Toronto, um, I started not feeling like sick again, but not just like not great.
Yeah.
And so for the whole concert, I felt not great, but I
Ah.
powered through because and so I wasn't dancing like I normally do. I normally like sing all the songs and like all that stuff. But I knew like too much movement would probably not be right for me.
Oh
And you
no.
guys are the first knowing this because everybody who was like following me on social media, because I did do a little vlog thing.
Yeah.
I just didn't want to be a Debbie Downer saying like, hey, I'm getting over like a virus or whatever. So I just powered through, and I was in fourth row, and the seat ended up actually being really great because even though I was fourth row, it's still very close. And
Mm-hmm.
Janet absolutely, I think it's one of the best Janet concerts I've ever seen. And that's saying a lot because she's, 57 and she was doing amazing at like 37, but she's still doing amazing. And what I love about this is like she just rolled out the hits, but then in the hits, she would like sprinkle in like an album track that she's never done live before, or like
Whoa.
or an album track she hasn't like done in like 20 years before. Like, and even sometimes like she like her musical director is sick, and his name is Daniel Jones, and he is also or he has worked with Justin Timberlake
Mm-hmm.
before. And like for example, she has a song called Free Zone on her Velvet Rope album,
Okay.
and they interspersed that with Throb, which is off her 94 album or 93 album, the Janet album. And
Mm-hmm.
so she was going between Throb and Free Zone, like for like a good, I don't know, 45 seconds to a minute. So you got a taste of both songs like interspersed. And it was just, and I know Sharon's not a big fan of remixes, but it wasn't a remix. It was like just this, like, I guess it was a remix, but it was just sick. It was so good. And the best part of the whole situation is Janet was having fun. Like Janet was having fun on stage. She just looked like she was really taking in the crowd, and just enjoying herself. And it's not that she hasn't enjoyed herself in the past. Like I've seen her enjoy herself, but I think she's just to a point now where she's like, I can enjoy this. Like I've done a good thing with my career and I love my fans beyond, and we're just going to have a party. And
Wow.
it was really great. Ludacris opened the show. He
Luda.
Luda, and then guess what? He popped out Vin Diesel.
No.
Vin Diesel came out, which was absolutely amazing. I don't know if he was in Toronto for work. I'm assuming he was, because Luda made sure to mention before he gave the surprise away. He's like, this person has not come out on any other tour date, is not coming out on any more tour dates, but wanted to say hi. And then he walks
Wow.
out Vin Diesel. And then let me tell you, and just kind of like how we discussed last week or the week before about how when Busta Rhymes got all mushy for Janet,
Yeah.
like big bad rapper guy. So Vin Diesel basically comes out as version of Busta, right? Like big guy, all like muscly. He's got his rings on. He's all ready to go. And he starts talking about his friendship with Luda, obviously being the Fast and Furious franchise. And
Yeah.
Fast X frequently came out. It's number one in the movie theaters. But then right near the end, before he goes away, he's like, in the big Vin Diesel voice, he's like, I love Janet. Like that.
Aw, that's so cute.
It was so good. And Janet did like 4 costume changes, I think it was.
Wow.
She just looks stunning, and her dancers were great, and her band was awesome. And I managed to say hi to Jill Zaday, who used to be her former backup vocalist. So she was cool. We've had her on the show. You can watch the interview. And
Neat.
I saw her trainer, Tony Martinez, from afar. And I did manage to say hello to Gil, who is her current creative director. So
Wow.
that was very cool. And
How did you
also,
get to
by
say
the
hi
way,
to them? Where did you see them?
I bumped into Gil on the way out. I saw him milling about, and so I said hi. And then Jill was there to watch the show. It was great. She actually got backstage to see Janet. She hadn't seen Janet, I don't think, physically in a few years,
Wow.
but she obviously is still friends with all of the team. So she texted them, I guess, and they let her backstage to say hi. And so she actually has a picture with Janet. She put that on social media. And yeah, and then like I just saw like the trainer from the side of the wings, and I actually did message her DJ active, but he was too busy to come out to say hi, but he did say hello like via text, and he was happy I was there in person, so that was cool. And just a great show. And by the way, if you've never been, Sharon, I don't know, but Budweiser Stage in Toronto was actually a very good venue.
Indoor, outdoor?
Outdoor, so kind of like Saratoga Springs, like as we've discussed about. Yeah.
Oh, right. Okay. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, and it was really I was lucky because my seats, like I said, were up close, so I was under the cover. But even if it hadn't, it was a beautiful starry night, so it would have been amazing. And by the way, I turned around at one point because Janet was singing one of her slow songs, and she'd asked people to put up their phone lights,
Mm-hmm.
and over 16,000 people with their phone lights looking back at her. It was.
Whoa.
I actually have a video. I'll see if I can post it. I'm not sure if I can because the song would have been playing, and I don't want any copyright problems. But
Yep.
just to see what she saw from her vantage point was amazing. And she also asked at one point, she started singing her Grammy nominated, sorry, not only Grammy nominated, it might be Grammy nominated, but it's definitely Academy Award nominated song
Mm-hmm.
again. And the crowd sang it back to her. And she got,
Nice.
yeah, and she got emotional. So it
Oh,
was cool.
wow.
Yeah.
That's so cool. I'm so happy for you. And oh my gosh, I can't believe you got sick.
Yeah.
That's the worst, isn't it? And for you to
Yeah.
actually contemplate whether or not you'd be able to go
Yeah.
is a obviously an indication of how not well you were feeling. Oh
Yeah.
my
Yeah.
goodness.
Because even like my brother, the farm is crazy right now. And he was like, you need to not come to work today. Like, cause I was supposed to be working on the Monday.
Oh
And
shoot.
I couldn't even, at one point, Sharon, I'm not even joking, I couldn't even stand up straight. Like I couldn't
Oh,
stand up straight because I just had such pain in my stomach.
yeah. Oh my
So
gosh.
I just said to
Wow.
Elaine, I'm like, how is this happening? Like, I don't think I'm gonna be able to make the show.
Oh gosh.
So just because, yeah, like being in a car for 5.5 hours, right? Like Sans facilities if
Mm.
needed.
Yeah, I get it.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. But the power of Janet. So I feel like the universe made sure it happened like the day before. Because had it have happened on the Monday, I would have never been able to make the trip, like on the
Ah,
had it happen later on in the day kind of thing. But yeah, but that's how much I love the Janet. And so made
wow.
that trip. Yeah. And some people too, I'll say this out loud. Some people have been messaging me saying, like, hey, like I think this is her swan song, and like it's like her silent way of saying goodbye to concert touring. I really hope that's a load of garbage because like she's 57, as we talked about. She's dancing still like she's 27. She had no problem keeping up with her dancers. I feel like Janet is, first of all, A, has too much love for performing and for her fans to quit already.
Mm-hmm.
And then B is like, I don't even know if competitive is the right word, but like to me, it's like a competitive fighting spirit. Like, why would you sit down if you don't need to yet? Know what I mean?
Yeah, no kidding.
And so I just don't think she's done. I just find like I can't, she loves her fans so much. Like she's born to perform. So I just can't believe that this is her swan song. And I really hope it's not true because everyone's like, oh, it's like rumored that she's gonna stop touring. And it's like, oh God, stop.
We have discussed this on the show before over the years, the idea that there's no actual need to retire.
Yeah.
You know, you can just do it, just stop
Yeah.
if you want, take a little break and
Yeah.
then have a return and call it a return. You don't have to
Yeah.
actually retire.
Yeah, and
you
Jen,
know?
like, like, I mean, obviously we've just dealt with pandemic, so that was part of her length, but it was since 2018 was the last time, as we discussed on the show last week, since I've seen her in concert. She, like, as we also discussed, she would have been back in 2020, but there were like in between, like, I think it was 2008 and 2011, that was a
Mhm.
3-year break. And then from 2011 to 2015 or 2016, like there was like that 4 or 5 year break. So it's not uncommon for her to go away for several years and then come back. So even if she goes away for another 3 or 4 years and then comes back, like it's just her. She just goes away when she doesn't need to say stuff and then comes back when she wants to. So
That should be the that's what you get when you're an artist. You
yeah,
don't have to be confined by the rules of another industry where you retire.
yep,
You know?
yep, yep, yep.
Oh,
Yeah,
brother.
yeah,
People are
and
funny.
also too, like, I know, Aerosmith has obviously recently announced that they're doing their goodbye tour,
Yeah.
and I realize they're in their whatever 70s at this point, but again, I kinda just wish they would have just not said it was their goodbye tour, because maybe in 3 years they'll be bored and wanna go do it again.
Nah. They've got 20 years on Janet, so she's she's good to just keep on doing what she's
Yep,
doing, you
yep,
know?
yep, yep.
Wow. One other thing I thought that we should at least touch on a little bit was a pretty big event on online a few days ago, which was the Foo Fighters announcement of their new drummer,
Mhm,
which was done really well and really
yep,
impressive. And it was basically we got to be a fly on the wall to see them perform, and the whole introduction of they're standing around chatting, five of them, and talk about like nothing, like sandwiches or guitar straps, whatever. And each they'd get a knock on the door of the studio. The first one was Chad Smith from the Red Hot Chili Peppers. So you're like, oh, I get the joke is like with each person that's visiting, oh, they're the new drummer. No, Chad Smith was saying that someone's car was blocking parked him in. Then it was who was the next one? Why am I blanking? Oh, Tommy Lee.
oh, yeah,
He brought the PF Chang's food delivery for them. And then a guy named Danny Carey from Tool,
okay,
drummer, excellent drummer. He's
mhm.
like, hey, I got your poodles groomed. And he had two poodles with him. Anyways, then they're all chatting about whatever. And you hear, like, excuse me, can we just play some songs? And it was Josh Freese sitting at the drum kit getting ready to go. So they launched into it. They talked throughout the whole thing. It was so respectful of the fans' curiosity as to where the band was going from here that I felt like, oh, this is why I love them so much.
Yep,
And Josh Freese has uh, great timing as a drummer, a great list of experience. He's been drumming professionally since he was 12. He
yeah,
worked at Disney, which is also very
yeah,
impressive. His story is cool, but his commitment to music is amazing. And the new stuff that the Foo Fighters are releasing is just so vintage Foo Fighters that it just sounds great. It's
yep,
big and punchy, and it's all the elements of the band that you like. And what they did at the end of this video experience,
mhm,
this not really interactive, but we were there,
yeah,
was that they played a song. The last song they played was a song called Aurora, which happens to be Taylor Hawkins' favorite Foo Fighters song.
aw,
So, and that goes back to like There's Nothing Left to Lose album, which was the first one that he was on. So, really cool, really classy, and for this Foo Fighter fan, it it felt like we were heard, and totally considered. And again, we talked about this before about how we want some kind of closure, or we want some kind of inclusion on things like this. And it's not like we're not entitled to it,
mhm,
but I think it speaks to the artist and their output and the connection that they make with the fans that we think we deserve it.
I
And
mean,
not in an entitled way, just like it's sort of like please kind of way, like give it to us. We
mhm,
really want it.
mhm, mhm.
So it was really it was validating and it felt good.
Amazing. Very happy for you, Sharon, that your band has a new form and is moving forward, and obviously with Taylor always in mind. But this is
Oh
great.
yeah. And Chris Shiflett, who's one of the guitar players in the Foo Fighters, he has a little hawk decal on at least one of his guitars, but on the pick guard of the guitar he was playing in that. So
Cool.
that was nice too.
Amazing.
Yeah, so how about one little wrap up of a dip into one of our favorite years and our favorite decade, Kel? We'll do a
Let's
90s
do it.
rewind.
Let's do it.
Let's do it. It's 1994 for today. And I just picked a highlight reel of big names. You ready
Great.
for it? I'll
Yep.
start with Prince, Kel, the most beautiful girl in the world. Remember that
So good.
song?
Oh, so good.
It's like vintage Prince. I
Isn't that the
envision
one
Prince like, sorry,
Go ahead. Isn't that the one where Dominique Dawes is in the video?
could be,
I think so.
could be. I don't remember.
But you know her, right? The Olympic
Yep.
gymnast. Yep.
Yeah. But to me, to think of Prince as a songwriter and what we've learned, over the years is that he just never stopped writing songs. And to think of the ones that haven't seen the light of day, I'm like that kind of blows my mind. But this was like this is at the level of, diamonds and pearls for me.
Mm-hmm.
So you mean the world to me. How about Tony Braxton? We haven't dropped that name in a while.
TB, not Tom
TB.
Brady. Yeah.
Then of course Aaliyah with Back and Forth.
Such a great single.
Oh my gosh.
Such a great single.
Wasn't that the first one? Isn't that what
It was, yeah, to me, that's the one that I know. Like that's, to me, that's her first single. I don't know if there was another one, but that's the one that introduced her to my world. Yeah.
Yeah. I remember I had it on a cassette of songs that I would listen to on my way home from my first job in radio, which was an overnight job, and I did not have a car, so I would take the bus down to start work at midnight, and then I'd take the bus home at I'd get to it at 6:30 in the morning. And I needed the music to keep me awake.
Yeah.
So I didn't fall asleep on the bus. But yeah, Leo was on that along with the next artist actually, which is Tevin Campbell.
Oh yeah.
And I'm ready.
TC.
That's after TB.
Yeah.
He's that's for that song for me. Like, if remember on South Park where Cartman can't. He has to hear all of "Come Sail Away" by Styx. He has to sing it.
I
He
did
can't just hear a bit. He has to sing the whole thing. That's what I'm ready is like. Like if I hear it, I'm not going to stop singing it throughout the day. So either go all in or stop it now.
Yep.
And to wrap it up, I swear, Kel, by the moon and the stars in the sky, I'll be there.
All for one.
All for one, and I swear. Who was the band that covered it? The country band.
Oh,
God. They had another. They had an equally.
Oh,
big
was
hit
it?
with
Wasn't
that
Florida
song.
Georgia Line? Was it?
No, it was earlier than them.
Okay.
Sorry, I brought it up.
Maybe
anyway,
Rachel or Shane know.
They probably do know. And if Adam were here, he'd be zipping through the internet finding it. I've got one hand on a dog and the other hand
doing jazz.
A high five.
Yeah.
And that's your 90s rewind, Kel.
Very nice. And just a listener question this week is actually just from me. Sharon, if you, because I think in my sleep deprivation, I did not check our socials, but if you were at a Janet concert, what song would be your jam for her to perform for you? Like as the finale?
Because of what it means to me, I think Together Again.
Well, you'd be happy because she performed that 3 times during the show.
3 times?
Yeah, it was amazing. I've never seen her do it. So she started out with one version, which was like a really cool remix back in 98.
Yeah.
And then she did this down tempo version that she had also 98. And then finished with the regular LP version, which was obviously off the album in 97. So
did she do Pleasure Principle?
She did sections of it, yeah.
Oh, I love that song.
I can't, it's so funny because as you know, like Janet's catalog is forever seared into my brain. But when I was going through the show, and when watching it in real time, she just has so many hits. It's just, oh, there's that one too. And oh, I forgot about, not that you forget about it, but there's just so many. And you're like, oh yeah, there's that one. And you should have seen too, she even whipped out, there's a song on the Rhythm Nation album called Lonely. And she just did like a sec, but you're just like, oh my God, it's there too. It was just,
it's a great acknowledgement when she's just dropping bits in. That's like, here, let's fit as much in as possible.
High fives to the band, for just doing such a great, they're just so good. They've been with her for a while, this specific group of guys, and they just phenomenal. And by the way, I know there's always been not always, I think with pop acts, there's concern like they lip sync, but she's singing. She's singing, and you can hear the breath, and you can hear her do her thing, and like, and just hearing her hit her notes on like Again, and like some of the other high songs that she's got, like it's so like it gave me goosebumps, like just, and I wasn't even gonna say this, but I'll say it just because who cares? Near the end of the concert, I did get a little misty eyed because
Oh, I can imagine.
yeah, just because like I'm just so happy that she brings so much joy to so many people.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and I think for me, and I know this is like, well, I'm happy to say this out loud. I hope Heaven is a Janet Jackson concert on repeat, because
Ooh,
that would be amazing.
that would be pleasant,
Yeah, yeah,
if not extraordinary.
yeah, yeah. Because I just like when I was there, I was just like, if this is like what Heaven could be on repeat, I'd be happy with that. Yeah.
Well, I think that's a solid wish to end on. At least we know that Heaven has one queen of rock that has made her way up to at least pave the way for the rest of us to carry on.
Mm-hmm.
Kel,
Yep.
great seeing you.
Yeah, great seeing you
I'm
too.
happy that you made it to your show.
About 4 pounds lighter, so that's great.
That's a lot of information, Kel. But that's what happens when you don't eat.
Yeah, exactly. Yep.
Thank you everybody for being a part of the show today. Again, Adam wasn't here in picture,
Yeah.
but he is here in actual technical spirit. So thank you, Adam, very much. And wherever it is that you find us, thank you for doing it. We appreciate that you listen to 90s Now. Still happening.